Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Adinda Risma Fitriana from 5E class in English Education Department at State Islamic University of Sultan Syarif Kasim Riau. This occasion, I would like to present my material about the nature of inquiry, setting the field, and mixed method research. The first material, the nature of inquiry, setting the field. This part introduces readers to different research traditions with the advice that fitness for purpose must be the guiding principle, different research paradigms for different research purposes. As an alternative paradigms, the cluster of approaches that can loosely be termed interpretive, naturalistic, phenomenological, interactionist, and ethnographic are brought together, and their strengths and weaknesses for educational research are examined. People attempt to comprehend the world around them by using three types of reasonings: deductive reasonings, inductive reasonings, and the combined inductive-deductive approach. Deductive reasoning is based on the syllogism, which was Aristotle's great contribution to formal logic. In the simplest form, the syllogism consists of a major premise based on an a priori or self-evident proposition, a minor premise providing a particular instance, and a conclusion. Thus, all planets orbit the Sun. The Earth is a planet. Therefore, the Earth orbits the Sun. The assumptions underlying the syllogism is that through a sequence of formal steps of logic, from the general to the particular, a valid conclusion can be deduced from a valid premise. Its chief limitation is that it can handle only certain kinds of statement. The syllogism formed the basis of systematic reasoning from the time of its inception until the Renaissance. Here, the researchers is involved in a back and forth process of induction from observation to hypothesis, from the specific to the general, and deduction from hypothesis to implications. Molly in 1978. Hypotheses are tested rigorously and, if necessary, revised. Although both deduction and induction have their weaknesses, their contributions to the development of science are enormous. For example, 1. The suggestions of hypotheses, 2. The logical development of this hypothesis, and 3. The clarification and interpretation of scientific findings and their synthesis into a conceptual framework. Research has three characteristics in particular, which distinguish it from the first means of problem solving identified earlier, namely, an experience. First, whereas experience deals with events occurring in a haphazard manner, research is systematic and controlled, basing its operations on the inductive-deductive model outlined above. Second, research is empirical. The scientist turns to experience for validation, as Kerlinger puts it. Subjective, personal belief must have a reality checks against objective, empirical facts and tests. And the third, research is self-correcting. We can perhaps most profitably approach these conceptions of the social world by examining the explicit and implicit assumptions underpinning them. Our analysis is based on the work of Burrell and Morgan in 1979 who identified four sets of such assumptions. First, there are assumptions of an ontological kind, assumptions which concern the very nature or essence of the social phenomena being investigated. The second set the assumptions identified by Burrell and Morgan are of an epistemological kind. This concerns the very basis of knowledge, its nature and forms, how it can be acquired and how communicated to other human beings. And the third set of some assumptions concern human nature and, in particular, the relationship between human beings and their environment. Since the groundbreaking work of Kuhn, approach to methodology in research have been informed by discussions of paradigms and communities of scholars. A paradigm is a way of looking at or researching phenomena. A worldview, a view of what counts as accepted or correct scientific knowledge or way of working, an accepted model or pattern, a shared belief system or set of principles, the identify of a research community, a way of pursuing knowledge, consensus on what problems are to be investigated and how to investigate them, typical solution to problems, and an understanding that is more acceptable than its rivals. Paradigms are not simply methodologies, they are ways of looking at the world. Different assumptions about the world is like and how we can understand or know about it. This raises the question of whether paradigms can live together, whether they are compatible, or since they constitute fundamentally different ways of looking at the world, they are incommensurate. At issue, here is the significance of regarding approach to research as underpinned by different paradigms, an important characteristic of which is their incommensurability with each other. Social science research is marked by paradigmatic pluralism and multiple ways of construing paradigms. For example, Spring in 2015 contrasts two paradigms. The first paradigm is for the view that there is an objective reality which exists independent of the individual and comprises causally interacting elements which are available for observation that different sciences can be used to define that reality once consensus has been reached on what that objective reality is, that the research is replicable and cumulative. A scientifically root body of knowledge can be gathered and checked for correspondence to the world as it is. In recognizing the many and expanding number of paradigms and approaches to educational research, the chapter has argued to methodological, paradigmatic, and theoretical pluralism. Indeed, mixed methods, this set the ground for the many approaches, designs, methodologies, and methods set out in the remainder of the book. Simple receipt, following result, and deliberation, fitness for purpose, and a fitness of purpose are key watchwords here. Okay, next to the chapter 2 or the material 2, mixed method research. In this spirit, the chapter discusses methods of research designs, research questions, sampling, methodologies, reliability and validity, data types, data collection and analysis and reporting. The chapter also raised some challenges for MMR, for example, whether it really constitutes a new paradigm and how it addresses the problem of commensurability and incommensurability of the paradigmatic roots that underpin quantitative and qualitative research. Further, on the one hand, the advocates of MMR hail it is an important approach that its roots in pragmatism, which 1. Yields real answer to real question, 2. Is useful in the real world, 3. Avoids mistake allegiance to either quantitative or qualitative approach on their own. 4. Enables rich data to be gathered which address to triangulation that has been advocated in research for many years. And the last 5 respects the mix, messy really work, and last increases validity and reliability, in short, that delivers what works. As has been argued in this chapter, MMR enters into all stages of the research process. First, philosophical foundation, paradigms, ontologies, worldviews, epistemologies, and axiologies. 2. Research purpose and research question. 3. Research design, methodology, sampling, data types, instrumentation and data collection, validity and reliability. 4. Data analysis, 5. Data interpretation, and the last, conclusion and reporting result. This suggests that though MMR has been around for decades, there are still many questions to be answered. Bieber and Johnson in 2013 suggest that MMR still has gaps and opportunities, including, for example, ethical issues and team approaches in MMR, retooling, methods and traditions, whose origins lie in quantitative or qualitative research to bring them into MMR, implication of web-based developments, and big data and analytics for MMR. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and understand that what I'm present. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.